Hi everyone. So this is the first of a semester-long series of weekly messages. I'm going to try to do this every week, especially since, we're not going to see each other every class. I feel like it's good to, try to replicate what I normally would do in class, which is a reminder of what's coming up that week. So what I'm going to be doing in these weekly messages, I'm going to try to keep them brief. Kind of try to encourage you a little bit every week, especially as we get more and more tired as the semester goes on. I'll kind of include, if need, some reminders of what's coming up, like I said. And also, not this week because, we haven't started yet, so there hasn't really been anything. But as the weeks go on, when I see trends in terms of common student questions or concerns or some things that I'm seeing that might be problematic, I'll address them here and then in more detail on a separate document if needed. So this is because if I hear 4 or 5 students kind of asking the same question or being confused about the same thing, generally to me that's a sign that there are many more, because I know not all of you actually reach out. So I'll kind of, if the same thing keeps coming up, I'll address it here so that I reach out, I can wind up reaching other people who have the same concerns. So let's get started. So this week, as a reminder, we will meet together for the first class, even though it's asynchronous. I figure the first class is a nice get-to-know you kind of thing. So Monday, January 18th, as you know, start of class, and we do have a class on Mondays. So look for the link in What's New on your Omnibox homepage. We're going to use Leia Zoom. I look forward to meeting you all there. And then on Wednesday, we'll have our first kind of open Zoom chat during our class time. But remember, this is optional. It's open to everybody. You can come to as many as you like. If you want to come as an active participant to start racking up those points for the Zoom components, Zoom discussions component, I invite you to look at the document entitled About Wednesday Zoom Discussions. It's in distributed documents on Leia under the section called The Basics Start Here. So you can look at, make sure to look at that soon, and so then you know that you can come to 5 of those for 2 points each, but you have to be an active participant. You're not just going to be sitting there not doing anything. You're also not going to be doing an oral presentation. So it's, it's pretty chill, but you still have to be active. So look at that document and reach out to me if you have any questions. Also, for this week, if you haven't already, I'd really appreciate it if you filled out the student questionnaire. That allows me to see where people are at. And so the link is under the same place, distributed documents, the basics section. In terms of learning activities this week, that's a fancy word for work, but I sound it sounds nicer. And they're learning activities, and you're doing these instead of coming to class most weeks. So it's already up. There is a document in the assignments and Dropbox section of Leia, and it's called Week 1 Reading Questions. I know it's boring, but it's clear, so you're going to see week by week. It's always going to be the same formula. It's just numbered by week, and the due date is included there, so you'll know what week we're in. And this document contains the links to the online readings for this week. So, because I know most of you don't have the textbook yet, so for the first week, and then we'll see how it goes later this week. Your readings are all online. So if you don't have the textbook, don't panic, but do make sure to get it soon. There are 2. And there's also a link to the weekly vocabulary quiz, in addition to the reading questions that are there about the readings. So basically, the first thing you'll see is a link to where you can find all the readings. They're all together on one page where I put all my links. And you'll go back and forth between the document and those links to answer the questions related to them. And then there's a link to a short video that will expose you to some new vocabulary. Then you go back to the document, click on the link to the vocabulary quiz, and then you'll practice. And I know you still have access to the stuff, and that's fine. You're just getting to learn right now. Then once you've done the reading questions and the quiz, they're still in assignments in Dropbox. You'll find the document for journal number 1. Now, if you haven't looked at it yet, it would be really important at this point to have a look at the document entitled About the Weekly Activities, because it'll help you understand what it is that you're being asked to do here with the reading questions and the vocabulary quiz and the journal, because this is a part of, this is going to be every week. You're going to have all three of these things for a total of 4 points, and they accumulate throughout the semester. So go to Distributed Documents section of Leia, go under the basics, look up About the Weekly Activities if you haven't yet, before you go and look at the reading questions and the quiz and all that, just so that you'll know where you're headed. We will eventually start having readings for one or both of the textbooks. So if you haven't already ordered them, they are physical copies that you can order from Jake's. And if you look again under Distributed Documents, under the basics, there's a document called About the Course 3 Books. Oops, I should have put quotation marks there. I'll fix that. So look at that and see what the scoop is with the textbooks. Now, quick note, you actually can, and I'll add this here as well before I send this, there are electronic versions of these that you can get online, not through Jake's, but if you do prefer having an electronic version of the textbooks, you can in fact get them. So just Google the titles of the textbooks that you'll find in this document here about the Course 3 books, and Google them with ebook, and you will find one of them is, I think they're both available from the publishers directly. If you can get them from the publishers, please don't support evil Amazon. They are very evil, and the guy who runs it is a multi-billionaire, and his employees die on the floor, and their colleagues aren't allowed to help them because it'll disrupt their work. So it's Amazon is a last resort, please. So anyway, I hope that this week's activities give you a taste of, what this semester's going to be about. We're going to cover a lot of stuff. I've tried to make the workload manageable for all of us, and that includes me, because we're all, we're in a pandemic here, so we're doing what we can. But if you have concerns about keeping up, don't be shy to reach out. And finally, every week, like I said, I'll share a song. Actually, I haven't said that yet. Yeah, one of the weekly messages, I'll also share a song by an Indigenous musician to encourage you to kind of get to know Indigenous artists. So here's the first one. You can click on this link. And if you already are a fan of some Indigenous musicians and you have favorite songs, hey, send them my way, and I'll try to include them, as many of them as I can, in these weekly mailings. So I'll see you soon.